Okay.
Thank you. Hey, you guys, happy Tuesday evening. Today is May the 14th. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and aunts and sisters, just powerful women. Thank you for all you do. Excited to have a good group today. We do have a guest, Miss Chantelli. She's visiting us today from the Dallas area. Miss Chantelli, would you like to take a minute or two and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm looking forward to participating in today's meeting. I'm a former Rotarian. I was the president of the Latin American Club in Oakland. However, we ended up closing down some years back, but it's nice to be back.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I have, all right, let's go ahead and open us up in prayer. Miss Linda, would you lead us in a prayer?
As we gather here this evening as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our services to fellow citizens and to our community. Keep always in mind the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts to those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence and strive to create hope in the world.
Thank you. Mr. Dave, would you lead us in the pledge?
I'm going to pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
of the United States of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it
that
stands,
stands,
one
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. And I see Miss Carissa joined us today.
Yes, hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Perfect. All right. Is there, club announcements? I was excited, you guys. We are kind of wrapping up this Rotary year. Our Rotary year begins and ends June, July. So we're about to end our Rotary year for 2023 to 24. And I pulled up our service projects for the year. We have completed 270 hours of community service work through service projects with 69 different projects and volunteer people, and we have donated $5,220 in cash donations. So that's pretty big and mighty for our club. So I appreciate all your work. Continue to just send me when you do things. Recently, Chris made a donation to a nonprofit, and I said, just send that over to me because we can log that. That counts as what we're doing. The work that Dave and Linda are doing at Vision, helping the associates learn and navigate the new building, that counts as service hours. So be sure to email or text me those things. So with that, any other club announcements, Miss Linda or David?
I don't know of any.
All right.
I was accused of talking a lot last time.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Who would dare say that?
and it's not about every time.
Only us talkers do. Come on, Linda.
What?
Right.
I think it was Robin that said that.
All right. Let's go ahead.
No,
and
you
put-
don't talk enough, Linda.
Charlotte,
what
are
I
you in
said.
Wisconsin or Alabama?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Her house flooded up there. The house she has up there flooded.
Oh no,
Yeah, I didn't have enough to do. See, that was it.
Charlotte. Oh, poor thing. That's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask everybody to put yourselves on mute. I'm excited that our own Rotarian, Miss Robin, is going to be our guest speaker today. Miss Robin is doing an initiative called Lead to Learn. No, what is it, Robin?
It's Live to Lead. I was working on
Live to.
yeah.
Thank you. Live to Lead. I'm like, I saw the logo and then it went out of my head. So this is an initiative that Miss Robin's been working on. I said, you know what? Come to Rotary, share your vision, share your presentation, and see how we can help you network and promote that venture. So I'm going to put myself on mute, and if you want to, Robin, you're welcome to share anything, and I will pass it over to you.
Well, thank you for that, Linda. Yeah, now I'm thinking of Linda. Jerica, thank you for that, Jerica. Okay, it's been a crazy wild day for me, so it's very good. So the Live to Lead, I did do it last year, and so last year's speakers, of course, every year with this Live to Lead, it is John C. Maxwell who heads it up with Maxwell Leadership. And so with this Live to Lead, last year the speakers were Marcus Buckingham, Kendra Scott of the Kendra Scott Jewelry, Ryan Leake with Chasing Failure, and then of course John C. Maxwell with his High Road Leadership was his keynote that he was speaking on. So last year, I got a lot out of what I learned in Live to Lead, not just the marketing and that side of it. What I really learned, because it was in its 10th year last year. Now this year it's in its 11th year with this Live to Lead through Maxwell Leadership. It's only available to those of us who are in mentorship with Maxwell Leadership. And so there's less than 300 licenses worldwide. So they've got a license holder in Nigeria. And what this is it's four world-class speakers that are speaking to different areas of where we could really help the world. So like that High Road Leadership that John C. Maxwell was talking about last year, yes, it has to do with his book that I do have, but it's really being able to have two of the sides that come together. So right now, we are so divided in the United States. It feels more like the divided states of America than united. And so that's what John Maxwell's goal is, this High Road Leadership, is to help people see how low road, middle road, and high road leadership can help all of us prosper and be able to take things to another level and helping get our mission across to really help the young peoples of today, because Gen Z does not have the leadership that it needs. And I'm not talking just politics at all whatsoever. That is not what this is about. This is more about how the Gen Z, they need those strong leaders in the classrooms. We need people who are truly educating and leaving it at education, helping the young people be able to connect to the different generations across, because right now there's 5 generations within the workplace. With all those different generations, of course, there's going to be communication problems because each one has to understand, okay, why Gen Z wants to save everything is going to be different than the builder generation, why they saved everything. Like builder generation, they saved everything because they had nothing. Gen Z wants to save and reuse things to help the planet, but it's helping both those sides come together. And even with this High Road Leadership, I have not read the book yet. I have to read it yet, but right now we're working on being able to have a mastermind surrounding this book, doing a deep dive into that book. But before I even do the High Road Leadership mastermind on this, which I have John's teaching that I have with this Live to Lead, is Chasing Failure. And that's what I'm doing a mastermind currently on. And I'm literally chasing failure right now myself again, even with this Live to Lead that I did last year with these speakers, because last year it was really helpful when I was listening to Kendra Scott, how she was talking about how out of all of the billions of dollars that are being made, only 20 of them are women owned. That's what Kendra Scott, for her business with the jewelry that she started. And when she started her jewelry business, she was a single mom. She had her son in the back seat, and she's like, what am I supposed to do to have these baby? Like, I've got this baby. She wanted to have a business. She believed in it. So what did she do? Like any mom would do, bring her baby with her to the sales meetings. So that is something that I learned from Kendra Scott to do. And that falls in line with my Business and Babies brand, because that's literally what I did a couple weeks ago when I went to the local college. I brought Noah with me because I'm like, I'm doing what Kendra Scott did. And I'm not sorry, but I'm going to listen to what millionaires and billionaires did as a success, because it worked for them. It can work for me. So that was last year's, my takeaway in this was, how can I do things differently to make this world a better place? What can I do to help. And so that high road leadership, John was just coming out with the book in the process of writing it. And now this year he has the book out, like I said, where he's got the different levels. So like an example, and this has to do with the Live to Lead. So like one of the chapters is give more than you take. There's more takers in this world right now, it seems, than there are givers. So it's being able to help people learn how to give. It's being able to figure out, like, high road leaders, they give to others, they're generous just because they want to be generous. So I'm going to show the video that'll explain it better than I can. I don't know. Can I share screen, Jerica? Okay. I'll just do my whole screen. I closed everything else out. So like this is the corporate side of last year's, because there's a corporate version to this too.
Journey that's set to transform the way
Can everybody hear?
grows and thrives. Live to
Okay.
Lead is a premier leadership gathering hosted annually by Maxwell Leadership that brings together influential leaders and industry experts for a transformative day of learning and professional development.
High road leadership requires servant leadership. It requires us to want to serve people.
With Live to Lead, you're bringing the largest leadership event of the year directly to your organization. Imagine the strength of collective learning as your team trains together, rallying around the pursuit of growth and advancement. Yet, every individual also has the opportunity to dive deep into their personal journey of leadership, engaging with content that speaks directly to them.
You will never know if you're an exception to a rule until you're willing to do something exceptional. So be willing to put yourself out there.
As your team logs into their exclusive portal, they're greeted by a familiar sight, your company's branding, seamlessly integrated to make them feel right at home in this space of learning. You have the power to pick the date that suits your organization the best, ensuring that this transformative experience aligns perfectly with your schedule. And with multi-day access, there's ample opportunity for each individual to revisit content, take notes, and truly immerse themselves in their growth journey, all at their own pace.
Customers want to be associated with companies that are doing good, that are making an impact. Do what you can when you can.
How do we build more and more and more and more lovingly companies? Not soft companies, but companies where they've taken it seriously and designed love in.
This bespoke leadership experience, enriched with your branding and tailored to your scheduling needs, is exclusively available through a Live to Lead host, a dedicated guide to help you maximize the impact of this event on your organization. Reach out today, find your Live to Lead host, and discover how you can bring this transformative experience directly to your team.
So that's the corporate side of it. And that's where I want to get it into these businesses, because everybody could use this material to help them. So I don't have the corporate.
That's what, Robin, when I asked you to present today, I kind of wanted to understand that. Like, what is it that you're presenting to small businesses? Is it something that this is a course that you're teaching them, or you're giving access to the information?
So it's a little bit of both, because in the sponsorships, that's where I'm promoting the high road leadership. At the same time, I can also do the chasing failure. That's what I'm doing right now, personally, with people, is that chasing failure. And the reason why I'm doing the chasing failure with the Ryan Leak is because that material, I think, would help more of those that are new to personal growth. That's where I chose to have the chasing failure part of it, because a lot of people are afraid of failure. A lot of people just have that fear. So that overcomes it. But then if more of that corporate side, for getting it into the small business, large businesses, it's having the high road leadership book to really help those different generation or not so much the generation gaps, because I can speak to that. That's like been my focus, getting this into the corporations, but it's helping them be able to become a better leader, because the generation, like I said, Gen Z and the Alpha, they need help. That's the next generation after Gen Z is going to be Alpha.
So what does your normal, what does your audience kind of look like? Like is it, like how many people would be in a program setting?
For the masterminds,
For the one that you just said you're trying to lead right now,
right
the
now that
divide.
for the high road leadership, that one would be 20, and then same with the chasing failure. I'd like to get 20 in there. But the chasing failure, I view that more as you're new to this, same like with this live to lead. So like this year, I want to find the 2024 here. There's no video yet, but they just announced the newest speaker. This is on
But
the
so when you sell the program, it's you're the facilitator, but you're showing the video.
Yes. So it's a simulcast is how they consider it as. But so like they've got the chasing failure, I go into an organization, for example. Say for example, I was doing it for this Rotary Club, just to make it easier for me to understand too. So I'm hosting Live to Lead just for this Rotary Club. So everybody would have their ticket, unless it's an organization, say we're not worried about tickets right now at this point because I'm doing it for this organization. So we would pick a day and I would have it branded with our Rotary Club information. Online, you'd see it was sponsored by our E-Club of North Texas. On the website, you'd see that it was sponsored by our group that'd be part of it. And then you'd have access for 5 days to this online event that you can watch for Shantae Lowe, who's the newest speaker that they just had announced. And so she is a breast cancer survivor. And so her story is powerful as well in this. All of them are different. I don't know the other speakers for Michael Jr. And then I don't know his background. I just know this came out with for Shantae Lowe.
So is it instead of going to the convention in person, you're offering a hybrid to do it virtual, recorded for 5 days?
So it's not like a convention that they have the speakers. So that's where it's hard to explain because or at least for me it is. So they've got these 4 speakers coming together. This time they do at the IMC. They're going to have it on the Personal Growth Day. Instead of calling it Personal Growth Day, they're going to be calling it the Live to Lead. So they're going to have those 4 speakers being recorded that day, this time. In the past, what they did for 2023 is that they had them recorded at, I don't forget where it was at in Atlanta, Georgia, but they had the 4 different speakers there. So they had Ryan Leak, they had Marcus Buckingham, they had Kendra Scott, they had Valerie Burton, John C. Maxwell, all speaking on stage in Atlanta, Georgia. Now this year they're going to have not Ryan Leak. This year they have John C. Maxwell. They've got Chris Robinson. That's he's the VP of Maxwell Leadership. He's going to be speaking. And then Shantae Lowe, she's speaking. Like I said, they just announced her. And then Michael Jr. He's a comedian, but he's also a thought leader. So that's what they're having this year. They are recording them this year at the August IMC, August 14th, is when they're recording those speakers. So they have not done that. That is something new that they are doing as far as where the location for recording is. So with this Live to Lead, it's helping show that I am the leader person to go to within the community. That's like their thought process with this Live to Lead, for being able to bring this, hey, I have XYZ for speakers. This is what I can also help within your organization besides a personal day to grow. I don't know if that explains your question, Jerica, or not.
Yeah, I guess it's just still a new concept. Now that I'm remote for 5 years, I mean, I just can go to YouTube and watch previous presentations and conferences. So that's why I envision it is, but you just pay for it to be online instead of in person.
For this one, yes, because the only way you can get this one right now is you have to be Maxwell Leadership. So you can't get these, like what Ryan Leak did for Chasing Failure last year. his content, you can only get that through me. You cannot get it. You will not find it on YouTube at all.
So then when you say you want to do a book with 20 people, is that kind of like a book study type thing, or?
Yeah, that's what the masterminds are. They're a book study, but it's a deep dive into the actual book. So like the Chasing Failure, I have content from the keynote that he did last year for Chasing Failure. From this, I have content to that no one else would have. Unless
And
they
then how long does it take you to run through the book and presentation? Is it like a 6-week course, or?
Yep, it's 6 weeks. So what that is that it allows me to go through it. So right now I'm working on material for the Chasing Failures to put it out in small bite chunks on social media, but it's the facilitator guide that I have that Maxwell Leadership puts out. So for an example, one of the questions on here is there's so many different questions. Before you ever give up on a dream, you should understand the distinction between what is supposed to be a career and what is simply a hobby. So that's part of that never give up part of it. And then, so that's not a question. Like one of the takeaways to go through this with Chasing Failure is share a story of how you let go of a dream or chose not to grab a hold of a better one. So it asks more thought-provoking questions of the book itself when you're masterminding with people to get to know more about not so much about other people, but more about yourself, because you're hearing other people's responses in your peers. And that helps get the mind to start thinking of ways of doing something different. You know, like when we're in a group setting, we have the ability to use other people's ideas to think faster, to think more of, okay, I haven't thought of it this way before. And so that's what that mastermind, that book study does. So like I did find one of the questions, what is a hope or dream that you had as a teenager? So like when we're just even asking that right now, so Jerica's like, what is a hope or dream that you had as a teenager?
Well, I thought career-wise I was going to be a teacher, but that didn't work out.
So then we can go to the Chasing Failure. If you had chased that dream, do you think it would have worked?
I get paid more doing what I do now versus a teacher, so I'm glad it didn't work out.
Plus, you work less hours too.
True. That is true.
Fourth grade teacher, yeah, that's a hard work. I'm glad I didn't work. It's a hard job. So, I mean, Robin, and I'd like to open it up to other people here.
Well, yeah.
I've been part of several book clubs.
Mhm.
I've been part of several church Bible studies. So, from the audience, have you guys ever participated in a self-development type program in this format? Robin or Miss Linda's shaking her head. Howard, you've done a lot of learning opportunities. Has this been kind of something you've experienced?
No, not this particular format. I've had places where I spoke or masterminds that I've been a member of, but this is different.
And Ms. Chantelli.
To me, it seems like it's a new approach to trying to get more people involved, more reach on a more private level to where you would find on YouTube, perhaps. And I'm kind of like glad that she's taking on, because she has to do a lot of the readings on her own before she can present it to others. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Then like I said, to me, like I've had the experience with Live to Lead. And so it was more helpful for me. I mean, like when I think about last year, like I said, for Kendra Scott, even, I'm like, for me, that was more empowering as a mom to be like, I can do this because she did that. She's $1 billion brand. I'm not. So I'm like, I'm going to listen to her, what she did, how she made it, because that was more helpful for me. Then like Marcus Buckingham, his speech for bringing love into the workplace. We do need, you can fire somebody lovingly in how he explained it, and then why we have problems with the leadership. Like how he explained it was extremely helpful, but then at the same time, you do walk away like thinking, what can I do differently in my organization? What can I do? And just for me personally, that's where I started asking myself some of these questions.
To have
That's-
more empathy towards others is quite important.
That's what he's teaching too. And like this high road leadership, like I said, I don't have my notes from that with me right now, but just like even in that high road leadership, actually, I do have a little bit of video from that I can share.
Sure.
Because that would be helpful. Because my biggest thing is I want to be able, I don't want to take and just have the event. I would like to have it online, but I'm limited to 3 public events. So that includes even online. So within these events, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to donate some to like Rotary, for example, be able to give some money there, be able to give some money to another organization to help people. I don't want to just hold on to the money all for myself. I don't think that would be very fair.
You know, the money that you make from hosting the classes?
No, I'm talking from this Live to Lead event. The one for hosting the classes, I would use all of that to help me get my stuff for Live to Lead. Because right now I found out in the area, to have somebody help me that's done Live to Lead in Sioux Falls, that's going to cost $15,000 to $30,000. So it's somebody that's already done it here.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, that's what she said. That's what it was. And that they take care of everything though. They take care of the marketing, the venue, all of that in that. There's
Is it an umbrella type of business?
no, I know that to book the one area, they said I'm looking at about $4,000 to $5,000 to book the one area.
Yeah, but do you have the audience? I mean, who's going to show up?
Well, that's where the public part. So that's where I'm thinking I would like to have it those that are new to personal growth. It's like
I mean, I would say start with the Chamber of Commerce, you know, start getting involved locally and offer, you know, local small businesses. Howard always talks about write a book and then become the subject matter expert of that and give the books away for free. You know, if you start small at the small business level, you know, ask to be your guest speaker for their annual banquet and do a small snippet, one little chapter or something.
I was going to say 30. Oh, sorry, kid. I was just going to say 30,000 is a lot to break even in a community like yours where there is is there 150, 200,000 people? Is there even that many? I don't know. It's not a very dense pop. It's not New York City, so.
No, she said that would be the cost for the Sioux Falls area. So Sioux Falls has over 100,000 people in it. And she said like that's what it was for them to do like the marketing setup to be able to have an event and have everybody attend there that they would bring in. They do a lot of promotion for me. And then if people like for the setup, for the food, all of that would be in.
It's still very high. That's a lot.
Very high.
That's extremely. There was an event with the Learning Annex. They were charging $50,000 a person. Basically, it was to speak with Donald Trump. He was the main speaker, and then they had 20. They invited me to speak, so I was like, okay. And then a week before I was supposed to speak, they said you have to send the $50,000 in for your slot. I said, you're paying me $50,000 to speak with Donald Trump? It didn't sound like the Learning Addicts. They said, no, you're paying us $50,000. I said, and why would I want to do that? Well, you're going to make much more than that. I said, no, that's a breakout stage. He's on the main stage. Then you got 50 people in breakout stages. No one's going to break even. And they lost their entire company. They did this in about 10 times. Everyone lost every time. None of them broke even. No one except Donald. Everyone else was basically, that's how they paid him. They took the money from the other speakers, paid him, and no one broke even. So it's a lot. I've done a lot of these. That's a very high amount
Even the 15,000?
it's still very high for what you're doing. It's very, very high. I could see 4 or 5,000 maybe. 4 or 5,000 would be a lot, but it's doable. When you start getting into $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, the only one making money is the person getting the $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. You'll be working for 10 years just to break even with that kind of a. It's very now. If you're like Zig Ziglar or Dan Kennedy, and you got thousands, or Russell Brunson, you have a list of 100, 200,000 people. They can't wait for your next event. They're drooling to hear you on stage. Yeah, you could make that work because you've got enough of a base, but you don't have that kind of base to even begin with.
Who would pay for the loss though if you don't make the 30?
They won't. She loses it. She eats it.
Yeah.
Much too much. I can't warn you enough. Don't do it. You'll be very sorry.
Well, no, that helps because I'm not. So the license, that's exclusive that I have through Maxwell Leadership. So that's
fine.
Than this. So no, I appreciate that because
I would lose money doing that. I wouldn't break even, and I'm doing it longer than you, and I could tell you I would lose a lot of money if I did that. Just like I said no to the Donald Trump thing. I would have lost $50,000. No, I would have lost $49,000. No, you got to know what your footprint is now. I mean, there are speakers like Tony Robbins could make money with that. Dan Kennedy, Russell Brunson, Maxwell, but they have enormous followings and they're very dedicated. You're just starting. You do not want to spend that kind of money at the beginning to build the base. If you do, you'll never get to the point where you'll have a base. You'll just lose all your money.
Okay, and so that helps because I know that's where I was thinking online for this event because like I said, I really want to get it into corporates.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Unlimited. So that's where I've been kind of debating. Do I do it online? Because one, I'll be out of South Dakota. South Dakota. I know I'm being recorded. This is going to go out, so I'm not going to say anything.
No, you're doing, and I was going to compliment you. You spoke last year and you spoke this year, and it's so much more polished, and it's such an enormous improvement in your presentation skills and your speaking skills. So I wanted to compliment you on that because you really have made a tremendous improvement and you're on the right track. You're moving in the right direction, but there are a lot of people out there. They make money by finding people like you. They give them $30,000 and hey, you get 10, 20 people like you and you've had a good year. You haven't, but they certainly have.
Well, no, and I appreciate that because it's like I want to be able to have this, be bigger because I feel more better. Like when I went to college, for example, in town, it was one of those. It was a great experience, but I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be on stage with you, Howard. I'm supposed to be on stage with Ray Hicken, like all these people, and I know it, but I'm in Watertown, South Dakota.
That's a big handicap. I mean, I don't mean to knock it. It is. It's a huge problem. I mean,
I feel small here. I know that I have shrunk.
Even if you were big in your community, you'd be small because of the nature of the community. You really, if you want to be a very successful speaker, it wouldn't hurt to be in a community with people, lots of them. So you have more possibilities and companies and prospects and things you can do. And it's just where you are is very, very. Now you could do a lot online. You could do a lot of online events, and and I would certainly encourage that. But it's just not a lot of life opportunities because there's no people. Same where I live in Summerfield, Florida. We don't even have a government. There's no mayor. There's no fire department. It's all county. There's it's nothing. But it doesn't matter because this isn't where I work. I fly out and I go to wherever it is I have to go, and I work there. And I do a lot of online stuff all the time, but I've been doing it longer. But that's a big problem for where you are. It's definitely holding you back. But the other side is if you go someplace with lots of people, it's very expensive. And rents in New York are astronomical. You're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 a month rent. And even like my grandkids live in Charlotte, and they're paying $3,000-4,000 a month rent. In Charlotte, it's nowhere. I mean, Charlotte is not exactly New York or Chicago or Houston or and they're paying $3,000 rent. So that's the other side. If you do go with his people, the overhead is extremely high, and you have to kind of balance that out. And I don't have an answer, but I would say work on building online first where you are. And if you can get a nice base going that way, then it's not as much of a risk to go to the next thing because you have income coming in, you can cover your overhead. But until you can do that, I would be very, very miserly with your money, because it's real easy to blow the money and have nothing left. And it doesn't take long. All you need is one or two bad marketing things and you're out of business, especially at $30,000 a pop.
Well, that's what I thought about hosting it just in Watertown by myself. But, because I thought, well, then maybe I can get sponsorships once I got...
That's good. That's worth looking at. Then you...
Huh?
Reach out to the chamber, the library.
The Rotary. You're a Rotary member? Lions Club, Lions, PTA. See if there are any college entrepreneur groups. Don't forget Rotary has Interact and Rotaract. They may be able to work with them. They're often on campuses that have clubs that are looking for fundraising opportunities, and you can work on it with them, and they can bring people in. That's how you start. You find someone who already has the list, and they have a list of people that want what you have, and you piggyback onto the list so they make money and you make money. But it's the list. The main asset is the names and the list. And you don't have that yet, so you need to work with people who do, and you give up some of your profit, but it's worth it because every person, they're building your list.
Yeah, because I know, like right now, that's all I'm interested in is getting that list built, to find out who do I know. Because today, when I was asked earlier, when he said, because I'm in Watertown, I was asked earlier, like, who inspires me around me, like in town. Like, who inspires me in Watertown? And I'm like, I got nobody but me. I inspire me.
That's good.
And that's good to have you, because sometimes there's not too many people around. So keep on having you, that's good. But you also can reach to others. Have you tried also Toastmasters?
I have not. So, like, the Toastmasters group in Watertown even fell apart.
Oh, wow.
So everything here, that's where my other thing is. I'm like, I want to present this, but I'm also hesitant even on getting a location for the venue because of how this town is.
Yeah, but remember, you can do it at the library. Do it at the local church.
Yeah, I have to charge though. That's the only thing.
The library?
Charge for the price. The library, you have to do it for free, and I can't.
They might have a club, like a Kiwanis club or that has a building, and it's like maybe $100 for the day, versus $5,000 or $6,000 at a hotel. And that's I've done a lot of those where you have an inexpensive room, you have your own projector, you have your own speaker, and it's not expensive. You can go to Costco or Sam's Club, you get a a thing you can put on your head and talk to a speaker, and you have a projector, and
Yeah, I've got those materials.
yeah, and that's it. And then you just start small and do some free things, and then get people's names, and then do a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I was gonna suggest, is there a restaurant like we have, the Spring Creek Barbecue, and they have a room that holds 50 to 75
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
And they don't charge you just, the people that come, they buy their lunch, their dinner, whatever, but they don't charge for the room.
Golden Corral is another one.
Yeah.
Golden
So if
Corral's in a
there's
lot of
restaurant
places.
that has a private room, that would be a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
I
Because
don't
I
know
know like
what
Pizza
the
Ranch,
answer is.
we have that. Because that would be a small gathering.
Well, how many do you expect the first time? 20 or 30 people maybe?
Well, I'd like 100.
Well, I know, but starting out.
No, start small.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide. So if I'm talking just like this Live to Lead event, where I want like the business corporation people there, then I'm probably better off doing it at the college because it's $400 for the whole day. Just doing it there for doing this. But then I would also need like speakers, and I have leadership game I can play. There's other things I can do, but then that's where I'd want to get those people in leadership in Watertown there for that event. So I'd want like the business owners there. I'd want people from 3M there. That's what I'm getting at for that part of it. But like as far as the mastermind, I can do these online. Like even that Live to Lead, I can do that online, and I do want to have an online event that's public. And I wanted to have that October 11th. That's when I wanted to have that one. Because I believe that is a Thursday, I think that is. I've been looking at the date so much for October.
I gotta let my dog out.
No,
He's
October 10th is one.
be back.
But I thought about doing it for October 10th, online even, for Live to Lead, and promoting it now with the content that I do have now. Because like I said, I have last year's videos. I don't have this year's because they're not made yet for that part, and that does not count.
So real quick, because I know we're getting close to time though.
Well,
I want to play something that Blake has.
Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you, Ms. Robin.
Yeah, thank you.
Continue to engage and talk, and really appreciate you, just open up and hearing us network. That's what Rotary's about.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate, being able to have everybody's input too.
Yeah.
Oh, you should look at things like Craigslist. It's free. You could put ads there. There's a lot of free classified places you could put ads in. Stuff like that. That's free and inexpensive, low cost. And you can target geographically on Facebook and on a lot of other places. So you're just getting your area, and then you're not, and that's a little less expensive because you're not reaching the whole country, just getting a little spot. It's a start. It's good to shoot for 100, but if you get 10 or 30, it's a start. You be realistic. 100's a lot for a first event. It can't be done, but if you haven't done it yet and you've never done it before, and you pulled that off, I would be very surprised. Not disappointed. I'd be very proud of you, but that would be quite an accomplishment for someone to do on their first time out. I think you're reaching. You have good intentions, but that you're really reaching very high for starting out.
I appreciate that, Howard.
Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel discouraged.
No.
Your first event for 10, 15 people until they confirm, then you book it.
Yeah.
But you know how many people will show up.
Right, exactly. Whatever it is, even if it's a few people, you do it. It doesn't matter. I had one story. I think I told you this. Frank Sinatra had a concert in the Meadowlands, and it was like 40,000 people scheduled to go, and there was a blizzard, and there was 20 people from 20 or 30,000 showed up, and he gave the concert of a lifetime that night. And one of the people backstage, like one of the janitors, says, Why did you do that? There's 20 people and no one else showed up. And he looked at him, he said, they came in a blizzard. They came in a blizzard. You don't punish the people who respected you and showed up for the ones who didn't. So if you get 5 people, you do it. You treat them like there was 500, and you'll build that way. I'm sure you'll get more than that, but it doesn't matter how many. You treat them as if it was 100 or 500. That's what really matters.
All right, Miss Linda, she's gonna share something.
Yeah, this is something I got yesterday. Blake sent it to me. Let me see, make sure I can get it.
It's just a white screen.
We're not hearing anything.
It's not showing anything.
You can't hear? Oh, well, how do I get it?
Well, now we can hear you.
Like a,
Hold it near your microphone, not your.
Just a minute.
I'll email it to everybody. It'll be much better. Curtis Stereo.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
It's right in front of the microphone.
They can't hear the jingle part of it.
Oh, just a minute.
I'll email it to y'all.
Well, it came through my phone real well. But it was done by a couple of the employees there, and I was meeting them, and we had a good time, and so they played that, and they were singing it, and so I was asking them about it, and we had good conversations with several of them, and a couple of them live close to where I live, and it's really interesting. And the ones that are here locally, I hope you take the opportunity to go by when they get open pretty soon. I don't know when the whole thing is going to be done. One of the things Jarek and I have been talking about, and talked to Bruce, to Blake about, is that we're going to put in a grant, and we'll probably maybe have a total of $250. But he says, when they have this kitchen they do, they could use a microwave, and then it's fixed where the blind people can feel it, know how to operate it. But that would be a big help. Even something as small as a microwave would go a long way. So if that's something, you know, I know the things you sent us, they want a couple of thousand, and that's all for a school apparently, which is above our budget, but maybe eventually. So anyway, but like I said, anytime y'all have an opportunity to go out there, it's really great.
Well, Blake, if you need to raise money, I would volunteer to do a reading program online to raise money for you and donate the proceeds to the group. So if that helps you, I'd have to do it on Zoom because I'm in Florida, but I would be willing to do that if it'll help you.
Oh, thanks, Howard. That's a good idea. I would take you up on that.
Okay. It's for a good cause, so I'm happy to do that.
The employees this last week and this week, the people like Blake, they started coming out this week. The workers came out last week. And so not to say that you don't work, Blake.
I was just going to ask you. I'm all right with that.
They just started a new contract they've got to make camouflage army fatigue pants. They expect to make 10,000 a month.
Wow.
And this is blind people that are sewing them. And they do a fantastic job.
They also make glass case covers and put the vinyl on cases. They have, they sew the safety vests and the shovel, trench shovels, the trenching tool, and it's just amazing. And document covers. And I heard they're not going to do the dry erase bins. It's too expensive to move the extruder and everything over. They're going to have somebody from the outside do that. Like, have you heard that?
No, I hadn't heard that confirmation yet, but I believe it.
Okay, some of the employees were telling me that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so it's just amazing what they can be blind and I can't be visual.
No, we love having you out there. You're
But I
part of our family now.
Yeah, and I did lead like around running and any balls, like David said, I did the EME training.
She done good.
So, anyway. Okay, I don't have anything else, Robin.
Oh, you're good, Linda. I was thinking, like for this live to lead though. I'm not talking the mastermind, like the book studies. I'm not talking about that part of it. But this live to lead's not available until October 4th is the soonest. I didn't know if I could like to donate at least 5% to the Rotary Club. So this way I could give 5% to another organization.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I could do that.
Of course you can.
I wasn't sure like how any of that stuff worked because the same lady also. Well, apparently it's not normal for somebody in my situation to want to give money either. But I'm like, it's not. I know where I'm at, but I'm giving. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll put it towards Vision Dallas. Exactly.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I thought that would definitely be a good organization, because.
Well,
Yeah,
you
like
can do
Linda said.
I want to do the Rotary Club because we'll apply for a matching grant. So if we were able to do $125 and match it with a district of $125 to $250. So we'll see what we do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Absolutely. Thank you guys. I had a great discussion tonight. It was really good. Let's go ahead and close this out in the Rotarians, a four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair or concerned?
third,
Will it build better friendships?
and fourth, will
Will
it
it be beneficial to all concerned?
Fifth, will it be fun? Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great week.